What's going on, fellow nomads? Welcome back to the channel. This video is just going to be about what I take in my backpack. We're going to go ahead and break this down into 5 different sections. Shelter and bedding, tools, utility, we're going to have food and water, safety, and then optional gear that you can take along with you on these adventures. All right, so let's get into it. The first thing I have here is I have a 85-liter Kelty external frame backpack. This carries a lot of gear. It is very heavy to carry around depending on what you take. It also kind of depends on how long you're going. With this backpack, it's just kind of my example backpack of what I would take on maybe a 3-day hike and camp. Pretty much has everything I would need to camp anywhere. Okay, first we're gonna start off with shelter and bedding. First thing I got here is a one-person tent is going to be the easiest to carry around. It's already heavy enough. I am 1.5 persons. This is what I carry around. It is the Lynx One Alps Mountaineering backpacking tent. So this tent is going to be compact. It's going to protect you from all the elements, super easy to carry around. So with your tent, what you're also going to want, a footprint. This is pretty much a tarp. So the footprint is going to protect your tent, the bottom of your tent. It's going to protect you from rocks and sticks. It's going to extend the life of your tent, and it's also going to keep you dry. The next thing you're going to need goes right along with your shelter is going to be your bedding. You need to get a good night's rest before a hike, and you don't want to be hurting in the morning. I choose to have a little foot pump air mattress. Comes with a little container like this, fits super easily into your pack, rolls super easily back into the pack, and you don't need to use your breath, you just use your foot as a pump. Staying on the bedding, you're going to want a blanket of some sort. You know, it's not going to be hot everywhere you go, and I'm sure most nights will be cold depending on where you go. What I like to carry along with me, wool blanket. Pretty small package. It can fit inside of the backpack. Wool blankets are super important. You can't just take along any blanket. This is waterproof, and it's also going to keep you really warm. So here are some of the different tools I like to have in my backpack. First up, we have paracord. Now you can use paracord for many different things. What I like to use it for, if I don't have a bear box or anything near me, is I like to tie up my bag of food and string it up in a tree with paracord. I carry this grappling hook right here. I don't know why. I mean, maybe in the future I'll use it to retrieve something, but I don't think I'm gonna use it to pull myself up over a rock or something like that. I have a file here for my knives and my axe and my hatchet. It's imperative that you keep all these tools sharp or they won't work properly and you're spending all your time trying to use a tool that's not working. Right here I have some stakes. These are for my tents, or maybe I need to use them for the paracord or something like that. Right here I have a dry box. The dry box is for lighters. I like to carry cotton balls in here, matches, mantles for lanterns, stuff like that. Right here I have my kind of utility shovel. It also turns into a pickaxe. If I'm somewhere that doesn't have a fire ring or something like that, I can dig up a hole and use that kind of as a fire ring, cut up some tree roots or anything like that. I have a couple different style knives that I like to carry with me. I'm cutting up food or anything really. Here I have a 7-inch handsaw. This is super important if I need to cut up small branches or maybe even some PVC. We have different saw blades that can take care of different materials. Here's my hatchet. Obviously a super important piece of gear to have. You're gonna cut wood, anything that you need to cut really, you can use a hatchet. I have a fillet knife. I have a couple fillet knives. I just like to have them on me in case I get fish and I need to cut them up. My ferro rod is super important. Probably one of the most important pieces besides food and water and shelter. This is gonna be your key source of making a fire. Don't lose it. Keep it on a string of paracord, put it around your neck, whatever you gotta do. Here's a couple of Swiss Army utensil kits. You know, it's not imperative. You can eat with your hands, but I really like having these in my backpack. And last but not least, I have a can opener. I don't believe I've used a can opener in a long time while camping, but you know, you bring chili or whatever you're gonna bring. Having the right tool for the right job is super important. Now we're gonna go ahead and get into food and water. So while you're out on your hike, you're gonna bring food. But what if you're out fishing and you need to cook a fish, or you need to heat up some water that's not drinkable at the time? So how are you gonna do that? What I like to bring is a mini portable propane/butane stove. And I like to bring the butane/propane bottles, the mini ones, because they're easier to fit into the backpack. Look something like this. They also come in a little bit of a bigger size. If you don't want to bring multiple, just bring the one big one. We also have the portable stove. It comes with a hose where you can just, put your butane to the side on a flat area and have your stove anywhere you want to have it. So like I mentioned before, you're out here, you have your stove, you need to boil some water. How are you going to do that? You need a stainless steel pot. This is a stainless steel pot. It actually comes with a couple of cups. Very good cups, I might add. This is only like $20 on Amazon. Let's say you don't have a stainless steel pot. You don't have a stove cooking top. Very important, very essential is to have water when you're on your trek. If you're not gonna have those items, the next best thing, portable water filtration system. So what we have here is a squeeze water filtration system. Pretty much you take off the cap, you insert this right here, okay? After you fill it up with water, fill it up from a river, fill it up from wherever, and go ahead and just drink the water from here. This is your filtration system right here. This particular one is very cool. Sawyer mini filtration system. You can plug this into a water bottle, Coke bottle, anything you want. You don't need this bag necessarily. It also comes with straws, which is pretty cool. Now, something that might not seem very essential when you're packing up your bag, I find so many uses for it. You don't know what you're gonna do. You don't know what you're gonna eat or catch. Bags, maybe store fish in, because you don't want to put fish directly into your hiking bag. I put fish in here, berries, any sort of food that I might find on the way. Now let's get into safety. Anything can happen to you on these trips. You got slips, trips, falls, you can get cut, pinched, who knows what could happen to you. So it's important to be prepared if anything like that happens. I'm sure you can imagine, I'm sure you probably already take one of these. First aid kit, bandages, wound care, I even like to add some ibuprofen in here. And to go along with that, in case you get some kind of big cut, you fall on a big rock, a tourniquet. I'll put up a little animation here on how to use a tourniquet. If someone's heavily bleeding, this will save your life. So another important aspect to safety, being able to see at night. So I know a lot of people like to use headlamps. Of course, that's a lot easier. You can use your hands while you have a headlamp on. For me, I just have a flashlight. When you're hiking around, if you're out fishing close to the water, mountaintops, anything like that, you're going to be exposed to the sun a lot. And having sunscreen, eye protection, and a hat is going to keep you protected from that exposure to the sun and sunburn, skin cancer over a prolonged period of time. Who knows? This is not your home out here. These are different kind of animals' homes, including bears, mountain lions, coyotes, stuff like that. Especially if you're not going to have a firearm on you, I have some bear mace here. And this stuff works from about 40 feet away, and it's for bears and mountain lions. Now we're going to get into some optional gear you might want to take along with you. I'm always looking for a place to catch fish, especially if I want to eat. Take a fishing rod. I actually have 2 different fishing rods in here. I have a 5'6" rod for the rivers, small creeks, stuff like that. Super lightweight, breaks into 4 pieces, easy to carry in here. And then I also have a 7-foot rod for those bigger lakes I might come across. Also fits pretty well in here all together. So this is actually an old pool cue case. It has a hard exterior and it doesn't bend or anything like that. So this is pretty helpful. You're not gonna just catch any fish with just the rods and reel, right? You're gonna probably need to take some fishing tackle and bait, lures, stuff like that. So I have another little bag right here. I think I got it off the TikTok shop or something, but little roll-up bag meant for tools. Everything I need fits in here. I even put my fillet knife in here. So the last piece of optional gear, I don't have one on me. I plan on starting to use one, is a Garmin InReach Mini 2 communicator. I'll put up a diagram of it right now, but pretty much anywhere you go, you're gonna be able to use satellite texting. I think you can even post on social media from these things. So let your loved ones know that you're okay. and you know, let them know that you're safe, let them know when you're going to come home, all that good stuff. All right, guys, well, that's everything in my pack. It's a lot and it's heavy, but sometimes you just got to be prepared for anything while you're out here. Again, I want to know what you guys have. If you guys have any suggestions, things I should put in my pack, go ahead, list them down in the comments and tell me why. Anyways, like and subscribe this video, and see you on the next one.